working with a telecommunication company at the time in Mexico, I always been involved in sales because I was like account manager for several accounts. And I was very blessed that the company gave us great training at the time in management, leadership, sales, which I still use that right now. So that background, I think, molded me a good feeling to do what I do right now.
It's amazing how much we take from our background when we come into real estate that we never realized would help us in real estate.
Right.
You know, it's just, it is amazing to me. Do you remember your first international transaction?
Yes, I do.
Well, what was it like?
It was interesting in the point that, when you start at the beginning dealing with international people, you think it's going to be really quick, like when you deal with someone locally. Yeah, you need a house and I need to move these. No, it takes some time. So, but I remember very well at the time this particular client, I met him in Mexico, and he happens to be also a friend with another friend. And at the time we went to a Formula One race in Canada. And so we start talking there and said, okay, you know what? I'm interested in investing in the US, in Miami, where you are. So at the end, he was interested in a project in Orlando. But I remember probably took like 6 months just to find the right place for him, because he wanted like, oh, no, you know what? I like that complex, but that unit I don't like the view. I prefer this view and in this unit, but there was nothing there. And this was a new construction at the time, but everything was under contract. But I was, following up, and all of a sudden one day, the sales representative for the project called me and said, hey, Marco, I have this unit coming back to market. And it was exactly on the building he wanted, only one floor below what that he wanted, but he went for it, and he took it, and it was really, really good.
Cool. What was it like? Well, you explained that. And were there any surprises and lessons to learn?
Well, yeah, the lesson I learned is that creating a team back is very important. On a team, I mean not just Century 21 team or the leadership that we get from the company, but attorneys, real estate attorneys that they can speak Spanish and understand also the market, and CPA, to have a good CPA, so they can do their own accounting for them. The immigration attorney as well. Some people have the intention to say, okay, I want to invest that, I get a visa. And so slowly I start building that team behind me that allow me to get it. At that time when I started with this particular client, I didn't have anyone like I do now. So I have to start researching, and I was like a little hesitant about recommend him to this particular attorney because I didn't work with them before. So that was a challenge at the time, and that's what I learned. That okay, I need to be more ready and have people behind me that support to get a better service to them.
I know when you and I went to convention and we went to the international section, I was very impressed that you had such a good relationship with the representative from Mexico. It was very impressive.
Yeah, that's one thing. And I joined Century 21 at the time. I said, thinking that's when I actually started focusing more on the international side. So when I started doing real estate, it was like, at the beginning, I thought, oh, I got a job. So I got hired on this company. But they didn't tell me how much I was going to make,
how long it was going to take,
what hours I'm going to work. So, and then when I started in December 21, I realized, oh, this is not a job. This is a business. You start treating like that, business. And then I when I see Century 21, I say, oh, I remember Century 21 exists in Mexico. So I don't have to explain every time I go to Mexico what I do. I just tell them I work with Century 21. Like, they already know what I'm doing. So that was like when I decided to get more involved in the international side. So going to the first international convention was also eye-opening for me because of course, being from Mexico, I start, hey, I'm from Mexico, really? So I start getting a good relationship. So every time I go, some of the brokers, they invite me to their offices, and sometimes when they have their meeting, I was like invited, and I said, hey guys, I work in Century 21 in Florida, so if you have a client that you hear that is looking for, send it my way, and I pay you 35% referral fee or something like that. So, and I start creating that.
I have a question offline, actually. Of course, yes. I noticed when I used to give, when I did relocation work and I gave leads to other countries, some countries do not cooperate with referrals. Does Mexico?
Yes, I mean, with me, yeah.
Oh, with you. Okay, that's fair enough. Okay, you've built a strong international niche. What are the biggest challenges and opportunities you've experienced while working with foreign investors?
The big challenge is know how to communicate with them. Even though I work only Mexico and Latin America, I have people from Argentina. They have different words from Chile, Colombia. So we might refer, like, for example, a swimming pool differently in Mexico, in Argentina, in Colombia, in Chile. So you start learning how to explain things to them. So that was a challenge. And the other challenge is that you don't have only to worry about the local economy or the economy here in the U.S. You also have to learn how the economy in their country, because that gives you a good idea how to approach them. And yeah, so for example, when we have like the elections here, people always want to wait because the election and see how things are going to turn out. But all of a sudden, the following year is elections in another country, and they waiting on their election as well. So that's been
a challenge for sure. You hold both the CIPS and the RSPS designation. For those who are not familiar, what do they mean, and how have they helped you serve the international and second home clients?
Okay. Well, the CIPS is Certified International Property Specialist. I took that designation back in 2016, I believe, just after I joined Century 21. Once I joined Century 21, it was eye-opening for me because I saw the business completely different what I was a year before. So then I knew that there was a sales manager. Oh, what was that? So, and then I found out about the CIPS training, and I said, oh, okay, let me take a look into that, and I decided to take it. And the way, so you learn a little bit about the local market, a little bit of overview of all the markets in particular, and they have a different modules. So you have Latin America, Europe, Asia, Africa, all that. And something I learned there is, then the trainer told me, is that, listen, I know you're taking this training, this designation, just to make sure you don't have to be the realtor of the world. You cannot be. So you need to focus in a specific area. So that's when I took. And the other thing with the CIPS is they have this is a global designation. So another realtor from other country can take that training. And they have a big directory for all the CIPS around the world, and you can get referrals from them. The other one, Research and Second Home Property Specialist, is the other one. That is more focused on on the people that live out of the U.S. that want to invest here. And the resort is obviously a condo in a resort place that they just rent out. So, and the second home is more for another people that want to have a vacation home. Sometimes I have people that bought their house, they come 2 or 3 times a year and leave it empty. So they don't need to have any rental income from that. So that's the other training, what they focus on.
What are the common mistakes, or some common mistakes, international buyers make when purchasing in Florida, and how do you guide them through that?
Probably one mistake is that they want to buy here. They just plan their trip, and that's it. They arrive here, and all of a sudden, oh, okay, let me call. I like this property. Let me call someone randomly, and maybe that person doesn't have all the proper training, and doesn't know about all the implication about someone from a foreign
investor
to do the purchase. They don't know that maybe some people investors doesn't know that they can be they can have a mortgage here, even being a foreign national. And so that's one mistake they do, and they don't know the area specifically. They don't know what's coming to that area. So and not planning in general. So sometimes they buy under their name instead of a corporation, or they don't plan also the taxes and implications about that property.
Well, how do you guide them through that?
What?
How do you guide them through?
Oh, okay. So, of all this time, with all the people that I have behind me, like I mentioned before, the attorney, the CPA, obviously I keep my learning as I go. I mean, every day try to, if there's any update that affects the foreign investor, I try to be informed about that. So I don't give them a specifically advice. I just recommend them, hey, okay, you want to invest here? So I recommend you to talk to the CPA so they can guide you how to navigate this purchase. With the attorney, how to set up and protect your assets here. So I just put them in front of these people, and that not all of them listen.
People don't listen, my goodness. And they get in trouble that way.
So yeah. Oh, I told you.
Yeah, this question you just answered anyway. It says there's a lot of complexity around legal and financial structures for foreign investors. How do you help your clients? And you just explained. So I'm not going to ask it again. You work both multifamily investors and second home buyers. How do you tailor your approach depending on their goals?
Well, for a second home, I think before someone that maybe just want to have a vacation home, they don't care too much about rental income, but the way I approach them, it says, okay, so this person wants to come and enjoy the house that they're going to purchase, or the property they're going to purchase. So I make sure I get that approach to them versus someone who wants to buy a multifamily or a rental income property. They more focus on the money. So how much money I'm going to make, and how many units. So my approach would be more number to the multifamily investor, and more like living lifestyle living on the other side. And that way, that's a different approach I get with them.
What advice would you give investors who are just entering the multifamily or second home market? What advice would you give them?
For the multifamily, is just to make sure we have a good product that we can rent out and get some income from them. Because sometimes they just go with a purchase price and they don't say, okay, maybe you have in a multifamily 4 studios and 1 bedroom, 1 bath on the other side. So that maybe is not going to be the rentability is not going to be that good if you have maybe a multifamily with more rentable property, a 2 bedroom, 2 bath, or to get one back, for example. And on the second home is based on what they want to achieve. Like, okay, you want to come and enjoy the house, or you prefer to be close to the beach, or you prefer community that has a pool or too many amenities, or the advice, and then I do my research and I present different options to them.
So what makes a good investment property in today's South Florida market, and what red flags do you look out for?
Well, a good investment is something that you can create equity among time in a good neighborhood that is emerging. There are some neighborhoods that have been redeveloping, like Brickell, for example, was like 10 years ago when I started. It was like
Nobody
nothing.
wanted to be there.
There was nothing there. So now you go and there's a lot to do. There's a lot of people, a lot of high-rise buildings, ultra luxury. So I think looking at that equity that you can build up inside is a good investment. And red flags would be maybe if you want to buy in a condo, would be if you see a little rundown a condo, or one owner that owns too many units in there. So that would be a red flag. That, or even if the investor comes with a suitcase with money.
That is a red flag. What would you do if they did?
I welcome them, and I just make sure they deposit that into the bank account so we can do the transaction.
Yeah, too much money. Homeland Security wants to know where it came from.
I don't ask many questions about the money. I don't want to know.
I agree. So for agents interested in working with foreign investors, what's the first step you recommend that they take?
As I mentioned before, maybe focus on one particular area. Like if you do local real estate, you have a farming area. It's the same internationally. So maybe know the country that you want to focus on. As I mentioned, I'm from Mexico, so it was easy for me to decide where I want to focus on. And I love going there, so every time I go, I'm able to write off the trip. So that's not an advantage.
Not a terrible thing.
Not a terrible thing. And yeah, that would be the first thing. The second, maybe get educated. I mean, you don't have to learn like 100%, like first step, but at least have an idea what's that. 1031 exchange for someone who maybe wants to sell in the future. Create a good team behind you with attorneys, lenders, and all that. So I made a video presentation, and in the introduction I put it says you come enjoy Florida and I take care of the rest. So like a one-stop shop that I'm confident I can do that because all the team I've been able to create. So that would be good advice.
That's pretty cool. Are there any referral networks or international strategies that help you grow your client base globally?
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned the global conference for 2021. When I did that, I was like, oh, I need to be here every year. So, because I started first with Mexico at the time when we went to my first conference, it was only Mexico, Colombia, Venezuela, Brazil. So now we have most of South America, Central America offices, and I was able to meet the CEO from South America, Argentina, Chile, Costa Rica, Guatemala, Salvador. So I keep in contact with them. So as soon as I met them, I put them into my CRM, and also I contact them frequently so they remember me and say, okay, yeah, this is the guy from Florida. So, okay. So, and that, I create like that relationship with them, and I got referrals from them. every time as I mentioned, the other referral group is the CIPS and the RSPS. And Century 21, when being global, you get referrals made from other countries as well. When they read your bio, which everyone should have, and be very broad about it, so some other realtors can read what you do and where you focus, so you can get the referral.
So you do with global networking what agents should be doing here with the follow-up and CRMs and database and everything like that is exactly what they should be doing, only you're doing it outside the country.
Yeah.
And you
Yeah.
follow up.
Yeah, I follow. Sometimes the good thing is that you don't have to have an international calling plan because most people use the WhatsApp and you can call through WhatsApp. So sometimes I get, I just send a message to them. I just want to say hello, how you doing, how things are going. I just want them to remember that I'm here, that if they have a referral, send it over and not pay a referral fee for them. And as I mentioned, every time I go to Mexico, I call 2-3 offices and I make sure I visit them. So
you can write it off.
I can write it off.
If you could go back to 2013 and give your new agent self one piece of advice, what would it be?
Maybe call Tony Andrews right after I get my license, with the one that recruited me. So and started from there and looking at I look at right now as a business, not as a job. Because at the beginning I was looking at it like that, like, okay, I was sitting and waiting something to happen and nothing happened. Sometimes creating a business, you have to have your marketing plan, all your processes in place. Like, as you mentioned, like it's the same as local, but you go a little further abroad. So what I'm doing right now is on Instagram, I do videos that common mistakes of the international buyer, or where to invest, how it's more to buy new construction. And I do everything in Spanish, obviously, because everything is focused to that market. And on the marketing side, I do also meta ads that is focused only in Mexico. So it's not like I don't want them to look at here, but that's the main focus.
Okay. You've built a meaningful and successful business. What's the impact you hope to leave on your clients and your community?
Well, the impact is that they are happy with their investment. Every time they look at me, they can say hello with a happy face, and that's the intent. And then, they refer me to their family, friends, and that's the main goal. And to keep, growing and helping people, because it is very rewarding when you get someone that person to kind of you and the whole experience. So it keeps you adding more to what you want to achieve.
Interesting, because the only difference that I see what you do versus what we're supposed to be doing home here is that your audience is international. The actual process is the same.
It is the same. I mean, sometimes, it's like I've been going to not just to the offices of 21, but I know when there's a real estate expo in Mexico every year, I go to that. And I was able to participate. So I call new construction project, and I told them, hey, are you interested in participating in this expo in Mexico? So it's a huge audience, and you can put a stand. And I convince them to go. They pay for everything, and I'm with them on the stand, and I get all the database from that expo. And the idea, obviously, is worthless if I don't follow up with them. So as soon as I get it, I put it in a CRM. I do email blast. So every time a new construction comes into the market, I send them the information, and I was able to get time for them. I mean, sometimes they, as I mentioned, longer. So sometimes people take their time to decide what to do. So if you give up like in a month, it's not gonna work. But different people have been in touch for 2, 3, 4 years, and all of a sudden they decide to buy. So,
And you're the guy.
I am.
That's it. So the thing is stick-to-itiveness. That's what it is. To stick with it, to follow up, follow up, follow up. That's our job.
Correct. And I keep calling, and if they happen to change their number, the good thing is if I have it on my directory, and I've been communicating in WhatsApp, sometimes they tell you, oh, this person changed their phone number, so I get a new one. So that's
Okay, we have a lightning round now. So this is the strangest question you've ever gotten from an international buyer.
If I participate in a novela in Mexico before. Now, but all jokes aside, I have one people actually refer to me. Oh, he's like my guardian angel because I was raised by this. It was not an international one, but it was local. But it was very surprising that you referred to me like that.
Your guardian angel. That's pretty sweet. Okay, most unexpected compliment you've ever gotten in a review.
That I'm blessed that there's a lot of good reviews that I got among all these years.
Something you did not expect.
Well, maybe when it was from a client that it was so impressed that put very good comments and said, oh, this is like my go-to person in international or an expert. He referred to me as an expert. And okay, that's good to know because that's what I'm training for, but never referred to me like that before.
Oh. Do you have a secret weapon for wowing clients, or is it just charm and hustle?
Just it.
Yeah. Well, I agree.
No, but also the hustle, you have to work on it.
First thing you notice while walking into a home.
Maybe if I'm outside the roof, that's also very challenging because when I have to explain to a client that they need to change the roof, they're like, what? Why? Well, because here they change the roof.
You can't keep it forever.
Yeah, exactly. But why they don't build it the right way? I don't know. I mean, that's how it is here. So I look at the roof. If I go inside, maybe natural light on the house.
Mm-hmm. What's your realtor superpower?
No, I don't have one.
I believe you do.
I mean, just I think all the preparation and studies and listen to broker, the manager. Every time you do in our meetings, you get like some inspirational quote or information that say, oh, okay, yeah, I need to focus on that and do this, and so listen, and that starts you to create your own power. And also, I also do like Google Alert on international markets. So every time I receive them every day. So I try to see what's going on. And also I complement. I have a coach that they coach me. My coach is from Mexico City. She's in Mexico. So that's
to get first-hand news.
Yeah.
Wow. Ahead of everyone else. That's your superpower. Okay, we have questions here. I know we have questions. Miss Dina.
Yeah. I know it's global and I know that means pretty much everywhere, but you mentioned Mexico a lot. So, but for right now, how many countries you could say that you handle it
Uh,
with that Mexico?
well, I do have clients from other countries, but Latin America, because that's my first language, Spanish. Even though, as I mentioned, sometimes it's difficult to communicate because it depends on the country. We were talking about earlier today. Some countries, they speak so fast and even they speak Spanish. What? Can you repeat it? But yes, I try to focus on that sector. And the other thing I choose besides Mexico is a 2.5 hour flight there, so it's easy to travel. So I don't have to spend 9 hours traveling.
Yeah.
Miss Dina.
So you speak Spanish and when customers come over for you, okay? Do you translate the entire contract into Spanish for them before they sign it, or do you get the Spanish one and use that? You know, like, what do you do with the language barrier as far as them understanding the contract?
On that part, the good thing is that most people, they speak English. They understand, maybe don't have like a everyday conversation. Even myself, I mean, I've been here for so long, sometimes I forget a word that, what does
Me
it mean?
too.
But, yeah, they read the contract. I have the attorney that read, speak Spanish. If they need it, I recommend them to send it to the attorney. And you know, sometimes if it's a new construction, there's nothing we can do. The contract is what it is. So it's either decline or you don't. So you cannot change anything. If it's a resale and we use our contract, I send them the English version. I just explain a lot of things because they think when you do the contract and it get accepted, it's a legal binding contract. In Latin America, so the process is very different. So you need to know exactly how to explain that to.
I've been told that the translation from the Spanish version of the contract to the English version is not correct, legally correct.
Oh.
Is that something that you're aware of or not?
No, I'm not aware of that.
Well, you don't use it with anyone.
No, I don't. I stick to the English version and I just translate it to them the important part.
You ever have issues with the exchange? Like what's the money down in
Mexican paper?
Mexico? So is there ever an exchange issue? I have that with Canadians.
Every day. I mean, the rate change every day.
Yeah.
I mean, through the day they change. So, yeah, and the good thing is also some people, they already have money to the US dollar and it's easier. So it just happened like, I believe one from Argentina, they have the money there. It was a little trouble moving the money around, but at the time I was working with a bank called Money Power, and they help you move that money from different countries.
So my question would be, you have somebody who's coming with a cash transaction, and in their country, they have enough money until tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
When everything changes, they're short.
Correct.
What happens? How do we do that?
That's the challenge. Okay, you need to ask for more money to a relative or something to come up with the difference because.
Has that happened to you?
No.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, but yeah, it's important for them to know that they need to act quickly. That's also a tool for me to get that urgency out of them. So the exchange rate is this day, tomorrow, I don't know. So it will be probably more money for you if you decide to wait. And sometimes also, now that you mentioned cash, is also, you need to be aware that if you mean cash in Mexico or Latin America, cash is like you have the actual money in the hand. So I need to say, oh, no, it's cash, but not that cash. It's a transaction, it's a wire transfer from the bank. But don't come with the money.
No bag of money anymore.
Yeah.
We have any more questions?
Mark,
Okay.
can you talk about your commercial experience? Your commercial business.
For renting. That come from an experience. My cousin actually owned a piece of property in New York. I'm not knowing they built on it, fortunately beautiful home. But apparently not living there. They went back certain years, I don't recall, maybe 2 years down the road, and they find people living in there. But according to rules in New York, it's perfectly okay, nobody lives in the house for a certain amount of time, and the local can come and claim the house. So, how do we explain that to somebody that's actually coming from here, trying to invest or buy another property? I don't know if Mexico is the same way, but that was the situation in New York.
Well, I explained to them that the laws are very different here. Yes, you have a risk that if someone see a house empty for that long time, they can break in and just, I mean, we have that here as well, but you can kick them out fairly quick. In some other countries, I know they have some rights and it takes you a long time to move them out. But I explained to them all the laws involved here, how we can prevent that. So if someone invests in a property here that is a vacation home and it's going to be empty for 6 months or longer, sometimes I send someone to clean the house or take a look at it, do see some movement there, so get some. We have a special birthday, not to cut you off. Someone's birthday is Monday.
No, Sunday. Sunday. Yeah, I'm 101. Well, there was cake before, and now no one will eat back. Sponsoring today. Thank you. Now that we've earned the place down. Any other questions?
Yeah. You mentioned that some of them, they don't know if they can have a mortgage here from Florida. I'm really interested in knowing how and what's the case.
From the foreign national banks that I work with, some mortgage brokers, they do foreign national, and they have very competitive rates. And they are surprised that sometimes the interest rate is not outrageous as some countries in Latin America, because you have interest rates on the double digits there, and when they come and say that foreign, you can get 9%, it's okay, where do I buy?
It's perspective. It's very interesting what we get horrified about. Somebody else goes, oh, no big deal.
Yeah.
We could do that. Anybody else? Oh, David, I'm sorry.
Just one quick, thank you for commentary and so everything, like, most of your friends, they buy financing or cash?
Most of them, they buy cash.
More cash, right? By
Yeah.
wire transfer.
Yes, unless they have not like, for example, if they have only 300,000 and we cannot find anything like decent for them, that's when I suggest to do a mortgage so they can buy something better. Even a new construction, because the new construction is very easy for them, because your deposits are scheduled like in stages as they progress. If it's a building,
Mhm.
once they pour foundation, once you get a contract, you put 10% or 20, it all depends on the builder. When they pour foundation, another chunk, then when they reach certain floor, and then when they reach the top, you should have either 50, 60, or 40%, it all depends. So that's also what I try to explain. So they get a new construction. The only challenging part is the weight, because sometimes they sign, if they purchase something before they touch the land, they have to wait 3, 4, even 5 years to get the property. But when they start already groundbreaking and you see movement there, it's less time.
Anybody else?
I like how you said that this is not a job, it's a business. And the most new agents don't understand that. But as a new agent, what has you been so successful with Central 21?
I would say listen to all people, my peers, so also I try to look at them when I started. I'm in the Boynton office. I look up to the people that are doing well. Here what for the time broker Bob used to say, you need to prospect every day and do your calls and work. And something resembled to me to this day that he said that he never see someone fail at work, and then having also very successful people here in Coral Springs. I look up to them and try to learn from everyone. Everyone
Everyone has
influence of what I'm able to achieve, and I'm very blessed and happy to be part of. Maybe not at that level yet, but
you get there.
I'm happy to be recognized.
Anybody else?
Ellen, can you hear me? Ellen.
It's like when they're gonna get a mortgage, all the paperwork, all the years that, you have to present some documents, and how you were able to get all that stuff from them, and how you approach to them, so they need to,
You will be surprised. It's very easy.
Yeah.
You don't need that many paperwork.
Oh.
You only need a CPA letter from the country, and obviously it has to be in English. They cannot be in Spanish. But basically, that CPA letter says how much money you make, what you have in the country, your debt, everything is in there. Bank references and photo ID. That's it. They don't even have to come here, so they can do all the signing from the country. So with the virtual notary and all that stuff.
So the trick is, if you really want to get a mortgage, go to another country. It's easier to get a mortgage here than it is here.
Yeah. Yeah, and the process is similar. Like here, you have the appraisal and loan approval, all that stuff. That is quicker. I think for me, it has been on my experience. It's easier to deal with a foreign national than someone locally, because the letter, send me this pay stub, and you need to update everything. So that's just a CPA letter. Very, very.
So my second part of the question was, how do you get the commission still the same? Sometimes was able to negotiate negotiation, and also would you like to elaborate more on how to write up the script back and forth?
You need a CPA for that.
I said no.
Yeah, that's what you need a CPA for.
Yeah, that's why I visit the Century 21 offices, so I have proof that I was working, even though it was one day and I spent 15. So, but on the commission, yeah, the commission is the same. I mean, the builder set the commission from the beginning, and the good thing with the new construction is that it's not just 3%. Sometimes it's 6, 7, 8. I remember my first. That's why I remember my first international one. The commission was 15%.
Wow.
It was really good.
do you have buyers from that you want to buy here, or you also sell there?
No, I don't sell there. No, I just here.
But do you have people that asking you?
Yeah. Sometimes I get local people say, "Hey, can you help me sell my house here in Cancun or in Mexico?" I refer that to someone local, because if you put it here on the MLS, it's gonna sit there and expire because no one's gonna call you.
We do have a place in MLS that is other.
Okay.
I have never seen anybody have a sold or closed sale in other. It just doesn't work, because I don't think people think about going there.
Yeah, but the good thing is that now, on the seller MLS and a lot of MLS that use not the flex one, the other one, so the matrix, they have a MLS for Latin America. It's called Omni.
Right.
So then you can put your listing if you have someone local. And that, the thing is that real estate is not licensed in all these countries. So
Right.
anyone can do real estate. So, but all the offices from at least Century 21, and I see some other offices that they are using the Omni MLS.
Okay. Any more questions? We've gone over to 10 o'clock and I'm very impressed. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Ellen, can you hear any of
other
us? Can
questions?
you hear any of us out here in Zoom land? Can you hear
You
us in
bet.
Zoom land? You can't hear.
I didn't even realize that I was doing it without having the EP, CSE, whatever fee it is. But, I'm working with somebody internationally. Being the only thing I noticed is it does take time to find him something. Like, it's like every time you send something, it's like, oh no, I didn't know. But you mentioned also that you need to know the country you working with, the international, wherever. I never been to France and into French side. What should I know about France? Even though I don't go there to know how to make the process easy for me.
Him, and he said, hey, he owns like 4 restaurants or 5 restaurants at the time. He says, I'm gonna open a new one in here. So at the beginning he started renting, but then I talked to him and said, hey, why don't you buy the freestanding building? So I did that, and I sold one towards a freestanding building. Then I sold a piece of land in Jupiter, and he built another restaurant there. That the invitation for the opening hopefully soon. Obviously it's a Mexican restaurant. And
Larry?
but I don't know if he gets along with the wife. No, I can. Yeah, I can give you that offline because now I'm gonna be recorded. But yeah, that would get me involved. And you know, one thing is, get me to another. So all of a sudden, I start doing a little commercial, mostly restaurants. I got another person that do Mexican restaurant that I don't know, for some reason get involved in that. So this person knows this other one, and they refer me to them. Well, that's how I get. So then he knew another person from Mexico. He referred to me, and I was able to sell another freestanding building. He used as a warehouse, an office, and I sold that to a local church. It's a church, or even though they cannot operate as a like a formal church. But yeah, that gave me into that. So now I start learning also a little bit about commercial, and I get on the same conference, and the global conference, they have some modules that you can take on commercial real estate, and I did that. So, and also in the C21 University, there's a module for commercial, so I took that one.
Okay, we're gonna say thank you, Marco.
Well, thank you.
We've really done enough. Thank you so much for your time. I will be with you, and wonderful knowledge.
Thank you.